Set deep in the agricultural heartland of Ohio sits a uniquely challenging racecourse.
Drivers, start your engines.
Waits to hit the gas and take this field to green as we run down through turn 3, and we do go green now. Alex Palou leads away, and Kyffin Simpson already tucked up on the rear wing, but look at Lundgaard having a look on Palou, but Palou holds the lead, and we've got a crash at the back. Graham Rahal involved, Joseph Newgarden involved, Will Power as well. Disaster once again for Penske. And Newgarden is out immediately, and that's a Prema in trouble as well. That looks like Callum Ilott, but Palou holding the lead of this race, and another nightmare for Penske and for Joseph Newgarden.
White and blue car of Joseph Newgarden, and he just spun. This is on board with Graham Rahal. We'll get a good view of Newgarden, who's just in front to the right there. Oh, he just locked up.
The car just snapped on him. That's bizarre though, T-Bell. I mean, you know, when you get the rear locking in these race cars, you still go straight, but you're kind of chasing the tail. This thing hooked all the way driver's left. So bizarre. Kevin.
Joseph out of the race, the first time in his career that he's had 3 straight finishes of 25th or worse. Back to green. An aggressive start from Lundgaard on the power early, jumping down there through the final corner, wanting to have a look and get up and past Kyffin Simpson at the earliest possible opportunity. Snaking through turn 1, and now we are racing for real as Lundgaard has a little look and Simpson goes to defend. Lundgaard, though, around the outside of Kyffin Simpson at 2, but Simpson again closes the door. Lundgaard now on board with him on the run down through 3 into 4. The pace advantage of the McLaren clear as it stands. Who will be later on the brakes? Lundgaard trying to go around the outside of Kyffin Simpson, and Simpson again defends beautifully. Great racing, but Lundgaard is through.
The hits keep on coming for Team Penske. Scott McLaughlin also rolling down pit lane, and Power needs more than Shell fuel because he says, I'm losing power. There's a misfire. He just got passed by DeFrancesco, and he lost about 5 seconds on the last lap.
Looks like there was some smoke just pouring out the back of his car.
Fire on the left side.
There you go. A fire on the left side of the car. There was smoke billowing from it as he ran down pit lane. And Penske's miserable season, I mean, just from bad to worse, lap by lap, day by day this season.
2 of 3 Team Penske drivers already out. As you take a look at the left side headers, probably engine oil would be my guess, contributing to the fire there. So something pretty terminal in the powertrain for Will Power.
Alex Palou has put his foot down and started to run away and high. 2.4 seconds now the advantage over Lundgaard.
Now David Malukas on those soft tires.
Teammate on teammate. Ferrucci goes to defend. Malukas has to switch out around the outside of him down into turn 3. Ferrucci getting his elbows out and defending. But Malukas tries around the outside up the top of the hill into 5 and will not let it go. Malukas with his tires up to temperature, and if my eyes don't deceive me, also on the soft rubber compared to Ferrucci on the hard. Now Lundgaard takes the opportunity to jump in and change off those soft tires down to Kevin Lee on pit lane.
So Christian Lundgaard is coming down this time, so he bails a lap earlier than Alex Palou, who is also talking about what kind of changes he wants. This is the only set of new softs for Lundgaard. He's going to a set of the hard compound this time. He wants no changes, so now we're going to see what he can do if he can get clean track, and we'll see Palou in shortly.
We're hearing Joseph Newgarden has actually managed to jump back into his car. They managed to fix it, send him back out again. Now into the pit comes Alex Palou. Kevin, what tires are waiting for our race leader?
Well, he really only has primaries or used softs remaining, so this is a set of scuffed primaries. Also, by staying out long, if there's a lot of caution, they could maybe think about doing it on one more stop, but they're going fast enough that it's likely 3 stops. Jack.
And Siegel is getting ready for his service, going to flow some Shell fuel into that car, and it has been such an impressive weekend for Nolan. That was a really clean stop. He's heading back out on track.
Yeah, that was a quick stop for Nolan Siegel. Palou back out though, and look to the left of the screen on the top. Through come the ECR cars, and this was always going to be the issue for Palou. He comes out behind one of the ECR cars with Rosenquist having a little look up the inside. Rosenquist right behind him as well, and there in the orange and black, just behind is Christian Lundgaard. We ride on board with Felix Rosenqvist. He has great pace, and obviously Palou on the cooler tyres. Rosenqvist to the outside, down into 3 to take the place back away from Alex Palou.
And this is great for Christian Lundgaard. Having Rosenqvist get around Palou, that's going to slow him down a little bit. Christian already with those hot tires, we saw it took him about a lap to really get the grip into it. So right now the difference between the two on the racetrack
push like hell,
is...
push like hell. 21 should be pitting now. Push, push.
Less than a second between these guys. So advantage Lundgaard on that round of pit stops.
As Rasmussen off track, and that looks like something technical, but starting to put Alex Palou under a huge amount of pressure is Christian Lundgaard. Scott Dixon is now the race leader, and if our sources are correct, Scott is going to try and do this race on 2 stops.
He's on pace to do it. Lap 30 is where you need to hit. He has a lot of yellow to help him. He comes to the box, putting those soft, brand new red tires on.
It was 4 laps of caution at the start of this race. If you need 4 laps of caution per stint to get to lap 30, that's gonna be you're really hoping for a very lucky break here for the number 9. But man, Dixon's done it before, time and time again.
Don't forget he had 2 or 3 pace laps, I should say, as well. True. On that tank of fuel. So Dixon just narrowly in that window as Lundgaard continues to claw at the back of Palou.
As we do now get the caution. Palou then leads from Lundgaard, but before we went to caution, Palou was under a huge amount of pressure from Christian Lundgaard. Can Lundgaard maintain that pressure as we roll back to green? It's Palou from Lundgaard, then Simpson, Herta, Siegel, Scott Dixon, your top 6 at Mid-Ohio. And look already at Nolan Siegel trying to go around Colton Herta, making life difficult for him, but Herta, that car placement once again, just perfect to deny the young McLaren driver on the run down now to turn 3. Siegel with an excellent exit on that run down through the kink at 3. And into turn 4 at the bottom of the hill. We ride on board with Nolan Siegel, who thinks better of having a pop at Colton Herta just now.
And it's impressive that Nolan even took a stab at it, because Herta's the only guy in the top 5 with those soft tires on. You would have expected him to be right on the gearbox of Kiffin Simpson. He's there now as the Premas are racing each other.
Yeah, that's Robert Schwartzman having a little go at Devlin DiFrancesco, but that has allowed his teammate, Callum Ilott, to get right tucked up underneath Schwartzman's rear wing. This at a moment between Santino Ferrucci and Connor Daly. Ferrucci really running Daly out of track. I mean, there's getting your elbows out and there's forcing another driver off track, and that, unfortunately for me, looks like the Jekyll and Hyde nature of Santino Ferrucci.
What happened before that? Well, because that doesn't generally just come out of nowhere. So have to look here. Well, Daly giving a little bit of a squeeze there, but then he opened things back up and crossed up Santino Ferrucci. But then Ferrucci just says, you know what? I'm going to send you on a gardening leave.
Now Lundgaard takes the opportunity to come in and stop. He had a brilliant 7.1 second stop last time around, way quicker than Alex Palou's. Kevin, what's he got for this time? What tires is he going to run?
He's going to use the softs, but he's out of new sets, so this is used. But he did say just a few minutes ago, we're not very happy on the hard compound, so they're going to see if they can make it last. Now, he doesn't have to last to the end, so he really can make this only about a 11-lap stint. That will put him in the window to get it done on one more stop after this.
Yeah, and you're going to want to run to about lap 61, 62 for your final stop. He emerges out around Kyle Kirkwood and the car of Jacob Abel just ahead of him. And again, once again, he's out in traffic, which was just not ideal.
Meanwhile, Alex Palou has set fastest lap of the race after fastest lap. He's done it basically the last 5 laps, nobody quicker every single time. That tells us Palou is in full push. He will do what Lundgaard does, or just did, and have to try to squeeze in an extra stop.
They have their own strategist, their own pit crews. It's very much every driver for themselves.
Oh, Palou's off, just dropped wheels. Lower
wheels
side of the screen, and that's really going to hurt that gap. That was turn 4. He just overcooked it, trying to turn quick laps. A rare mistake.
And you don't see that from Alex Palou all that often. It just shows the extent, the degrees to which he is pushing out there on the track today. And it's over that bump once again. We've seen it all the way through this weekend. Lucky boy.
That could have been so much worse and a much bigger time loss for Palou than what it ended up being.
Palou's last lap was a 107.2. How much of a penalty did he take? About a second and a half. He goes 108.8. That was costly.
And now in comes your race leader, Alex Palou. Kevin.
And even with the little off, Alex Palou gapped Scott Dixon by about 5 seconds in the last 10 laps. So let's look at it this way. Both are going to have to stop one more time after this. Palou is going to have to continue to run qualifying laps to try to be able to get in front of Dixon, Georgia.
Just told Colton Herta that this was going to be a shorter stop. They take the soft tires off and put new primaries on, which he said he felt comfortable on, being that's what he started on. He's already down of the way.
Quick stop from the Andretti Global team with Colton Herta, 6.1, a second faster than what we decided. Ganassi is a little slow leaving the box for Palou.
Well, but I thought that maybe with Colton Herta, they decided we don't need a full tank. We know we're going to have to stop again, so why not lighten the car up, shorten the time on pit lane, and give Colton Herta max speed in the car to go put to good use on the track.
Herta having to defend massively from Kyle Kirkwood on that run down into turn 2. And now in comes Scott Dixon.
And I think Kiffin Simpson is following. Great job from Kiffin Simpson. Jack.
Well, honestly, both of these pit stops happening almost in the same time. Let's go to Kiffin Simpson quick. He's going to put on a new set of reds. But if there was ever a guy who can make fuel, and he's won here 5 times, it's Scott Dixon. Oh no, it's Kiffin stalled.
Kiffin Simpson stalls on pit lane.
Hybrid start. Go, go, go.
And a brilliant weekend, and he gets so close.
At the right rear tire changer for VK. Watch the toes here. Woo!
He did just get his toes.
But how do you avoid it?
Well, here's what I think. I think they want to get another second or so on Dixon because they don't want to have to pass their teammate on track. They want to come out and beat Dixon on the blend coming out. There's no talk of pitting. I think they're maybe within a couple of laps, but I think he'll have the gap he needs by then.
Kevin, he just lost about 2 seconds on this lap. He was not able to get by Stingray Rob. So those precious seconds were just given up here, and he's still stuck behind Stingray for another lap. This is a disaster for Palou right now, not what he needs.
Every lap he has to spend out on track is another lap in that danger zone. If that caution comes out, it's day over for Alex Palou, but he makes the move, puts it on Stingray Rob coming down up there into turn 2. Nicely done. Keep our eyes peeled for the race leader, and he comes into the box now. Kevin Lee will be waiting for him.
Terrence Swanson is waving his arm. He is directing him in. He's the outside front changer. He would make any wing adjustment that is needed. He also would direct traffic. More critical in a yellow flag stop with a lot of traffic. It is primary, hard compound to hard compound. No bobbles on the front or the rear. He's away. Now where's he going to come out in relation to Scott Dixon?
That's a perfect stop for Alex Palou. Dixon through the final corner and down the start-finish stretch into 1. He will have a pace advantage. His tyres will be up to temperature. Palou, though, will have the track advantage. Palou then out ahead of his teammate Scott Dixon, but can Dixon make the warmer tyres work?
It's about 2 seconds the gap. Palou on cold tires, so the gap will be closer to a second by the end of this lap. But boy, Palou's got to like the view from where he's sitting right now. Nobody in front of him, his teammate behind him, and he just has to hit his marks here.
Pit stop executed perfectly. This was always the play. This was always the plan, and Palou has executed it exactly as the team had hoped. But Dixon is not falling back. Palou is not pulling away. It remains 1.7 seconds, Alex Palou and Scott Dixon, with Marcus Armstrong third, Nolan Siegel fourth, then Alexander Rossi and Christian Lundgaard.
At this point, he doesn't have to push too hard. He can really control the pace from inside the 10 car, take care of those Firestones. In case we do have a yellow and you need to get into a restart situation and go wheel to wheel, you've got a little bit better rubber under the car.
Push to pass remaining there, 57 for Palou, 51 for Dixon. Now cars that we think will still make one more stop, Armstrong, Siegel, Alexander Rossi, who's in the pits right now. So that will move Christian Lundgaard back up into podium position once Armstrong and Siegel pit. Last lap, Lundgaard a 107.0 to Dixon's 107.7. So that's the kind of pace he needs.
Problem for Palou. He's gone slowly, and Scott Dixon has gone past him.
Does he have a mechanical problem? Did he drop a wheel? He seems to be back up to pace, Townsend.
I don't know if he's been off the track. I don't know if he's had a mechanical problem. But something has gone wrong for Alex Palou. He has lost the lead of this race to his teammate Scott Dixon, who is the new race leader.
He bobbled once before, and we'll have to see if he put it off the racetrack again. Tricky section right here, and he gets a little loose and he gets wide. A mistake from Palou again, and this time it will cost him.
An unforced error while leading a race comfortably from the three-time champ. I don't think we've ever seen it.
Not one, James, but two that we've seen from him today. Alex Palou pushing to the max, making the mistake, losing the lead. That is so uncharacteristic.
Guard will be close enough to pounce, but if there's any issue between these two, he'll be right there.
Oh.
Look at Palou running the low line through the keyhole.
Tight line through 2, on the run down through 3 and into 4. Does he have the pace? Dixon on the push to pass in order to try to extend and get the gap so Palou won't have a chance into the braking zone. Soaring away at the wheel as he gets into the dirty air. White flag, one lap to go at Mid-Ohio. Alex Palou has got to put it all on the line to take the win away and deny his teammate Scott Dixon. Look how close he is. Look how tight they're getting on the run down to 2.
And here they come to the keyhole. What does Dixon do this time? He goes low and Palou goes high.
Running down the hill one more time. Dixon on the button. Palou on the button. Probably one really good opportunity for a pass remains, and it's on the run down into this corner. There is no way through for Alex Palou unless Dixon now makes a mistake. But he is too wily. He is too experienced. Right from the start of this race, Dixon said, we're going to two-stop it. We're going to throw the Hail Mary. We're going to make the impossible possible. We're going to make the strategy work. Alex Palou has made an uncharacteristic mistake and has handed the victory to Scott Dixon, but Dixon had to make this work. It's a 21st straight season with a victory for Scott Dixon.
Well done, man.
What a brilliant win. Scott Dixon returns to the top of the podium.